As we said, changes are coming to the East Moline School District. The district is releasing its future plans, and here to discuss those plans is the superintendent, Dr. Kristen Humphreys. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's talk about these changes. Can you walk us through those?
Yeah, we're working on a redistricting plan for the 2026-27 school year, and part of that is we're going to probably talk about that, but gather feedback from families and our staff to really improve that plan. But we really believe that our fifth graders belong back in elementary school. It's something we've heard from our families for years, and we've got some problems financially in our transportation fund that we're trying to get out in front of and improve the educational experience for all of our students.
For sure. So one of those, so the changes, so fifth grade is going back to the elementary schools. That means Glenview will be 6th through 8th grade as well. And then you'll redraw the district, the districting, right, around the boundaries, excuse me, around those elementary schools. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, back in 1988, the school district went through a desegregation plan with the Office of Civil Rights. So those boundaries haven't changed since then. Right now in East Moline, we can have 4 students living on 4 corners in the same neighborhood going to 4 different schools. And you can see having 4 buses pass by each other going to 4 different schools isn't very effective financially. And we believe it doesn't build neighborhoods for students to go to school with their neighborhoods friends. So we're working hard, and we want to make those school boundaries make much more sense, be contiguous, and allow our neighborhoods to thrive because our students go to school together.
And so why do you, what brought you to these changes, and why do you think they're necessary?
Well, the 2 big reasons are we believe 5th grade does belong in elementary school. Our 5th grade teachers at Glenview have done a tremendous job of keeping them sheltered in an environment that isn't typically like around the 8th grade or middle school environment. But we believe there's opportunities for more leadership opportunities for our students if they stay in that elementary and give them that extra year of experience. Currently, our current 3rd graders right now, which would be the first 5th grade to stay in elementary, are this first group that came through post-COVID. They're our first full-time students. And we see that we want to make sure they have an extra year of experience in the classroom in an elementary setting, and we think it's really important.
Really interesting that you bring up the COVID part of it too, because we know that that was obviously a big struggle for schools during such an unprecedented time here.
Yeah, it was indeed, and we see it amongst the student dysregulation and students struggling. They've come a long way, and students are doing much better. Of course, our strategies have improved. Our teachers do a tremendous job, but we believe for the long-term future and setting our students and schools up for long-term success, 5th grade back in elementary is incredibly important.
And so you talked about the part of this is saving money with the transportation plan, and so can you walk us through how that will save money?
Yeah, that's a good question. The state underfunds transportation right now, and they have for years. I've been superintendent for East Moline for 15 years, and every year they underfund transportation. In other words, they're not giving us what they promise us, and they prorate it. For next year, they've told us they're gonna cut that again another 6 to 10%, and it's become untenable for us. We have to borrow from ourselves almost $800,000 a year just to level out that fund each year. That's not something we can do for the long-term success. If you look at East Moline and you take a bird's eye view of East Moline, the area above Ridgewood and Glenview has the most rooftops where students can walk to school. Currently, we have 3 other schools, Bollesburg Elementary, Wells Elementary, and Hillcrest Elementary, that currently, if the boundaries were changed, those students are within the Ridgewood walking area. This will allow our transportation fund to more students to walk to school. Obviously, we would have less busing and a better opportunity to build those neighborhood schools.
And so let's talk about, the plan has come out. What kind of feedback are you getting from, staff, but also families? Yeah,
the staff feedback has been, I'll give you an example. The first group we spoke with was 5th grade teachers at Glenview. They're the most impacted. They're a strong team. They care about each other. They care about their students. This was very hard on them. And that evening after we spoke with them, I talked with 2 of the individuals on the phone that evening because they were very upset. Not in a bad way, but upset that they're going to miss their team. But they said, Kristen, this is absolutely the right thing we should be doing for kids and families. It should have been done years ago. I won't say that's 100% the sentiment from staff, but I would say that the overwhelming majority of staff said it's a long time coming, and this is something that we should be doing. From families, I think the questions remain about, okay, well, how's Ridgewood going to work this big? How is, what's my school going to look like if I'm staying in my neighborhood school? And those are the questions that are coming, but generally families believe 5th grade belongs in elementary too, and I think they've been positive, optimistically positive is what I'll say.
Great. And there are 2 listening sessions coming up as well for families to attend. I think we can maybe put that up on the screen real quick. So that first one is June 5th. That's for the families in the Spanish bilingual program. And then the next one is on June 9th, I believe, right? And that's at the administrative center.
It is. It is.
Okay.
We really want to hear from our families. It's important.
Yeah.
And these are listening sessions. Our board wants to be informed on what their thoughts are, but not only that, administratively, we want to be informed on maybe what we're missing, what we're not thinking about. This is really important. We cannot do this work over the next year to get ready for this without the input of our staff and our families. It's really important to make this the most effective thing we can do for our students.